Yahweh, you were faithful. For you are the giver of my life. You're the giver of my soul. You're the giver of all things to come. You're the giver of all things. You're the giver of all things. You're the giver of all things to come. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. Hey. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are an awesome wonder. You are the one. You are able. Yahweh, you're able. You are able. Yahweh, you're able. For you are the giver of my life. You're the giver of my soul. You're the giver of all things. You're the giver of all things. You're the giver of all things to come. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. My Redeemer. My Savior. I come to worship. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. My Redeemer. My Savior. I come to worship. Only you. Elohim. Elohim. Shabbat. I test Shabbat. Create in me, Yahweh, a clean spirit. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Only you. Hey. Only you. Only you. Only you. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Only you. Here we go. Here I stand with lifted hands. Here I stand with lifted hands. Caress my soul, Yahweh. Make me whole, Yahweh. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Only you. Here we go, one more time. Here I stand with lifted hands. Here I stand with lifted hands. Caress my soul, Yahweh. Make me whole, Yahweh. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Yeah, I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Only you. Hey. Only you. I come to worship. Only you. To everybody. It's good to be here again in the midst of all the trying things that have taken place this week. Some of you are home and afflicted with this cold virus. I know what you're going through because I'm coming in on the back end of it. And I am extremely happy to be able to be here with you all today. As I always say, there's nothing greater than being in the house and the presence of the Most High's people, to be able to share with you the things that are essential to our faith. I want to convince you of this fact. And I've said this before, and I need you to understand there's a difference in believing something and knowing something. We are not operating on a system of belief. We're operating on a system of exponential, experiential knowledge. I know that the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, I know that that spirit is a real spirit. I know that whatever that spirit has spoken to individuals, our ancestors in the past, and handed down to us, I know that that's true. I know from texts, as we'll see today, that the Most High is very explicit in allowing Israel to know who He is. I know that in all my years of trusting, that even in all of my illnesses, in all of my things that I have been afflicted by, that it was the Most High El, Yahweh, who delivered me. I know that. Wasn't a man, wasn't belief in a man. It was Yahweh, the Elohim of Abraham. Oh, come on. The Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. I don't understand why when I get up to teach, everything goes haywire. Ambassador Appleton, he teaches and everything goes smooth. I don't know. Maybe I should retire. Y'all got it right back there? I don't understand what the problem is. Last week we had a problem, this week we got a problem. I hate to say these things over the airways. I really do. But it's really very, very, very unprofessional. And I don't like it at all. Yahweh is the only spirit that can heal. He's the only spirit that can heal. Yahweh is the only spirit that can deliver us out of whatever situations we may find ourselves in. And while it has been over the years that I was taught, brought up to believe and to give a man the credit, all the time it was Yahweh who healed me. And this study in Yeshayahu, Isaiah, is germane to help you understand the significance and the importance of who he is and what his thought process is concerning you. Christians have been, when we were there, we understood all the things that were wrong. We understood about dying, going to heaven. We understood everything about devils and demons. Kind of sounds like the movie, Dungeons and Dragons. We understood all of that. And now we've come full circle and we've purged ourselves from all of this imaginary stuff and cleansed ourselves to realize that none of this is real. The only thing that's real are the things the Most High has provided to us to know and understand that is real. We're not going to be long today. This is not a long chapter. I think I'm only going to do this one chapter. We'll see. Chapter number 46. So let's get to it. Isaiah, Yeshayahu, chapter number 46. As we look at this particular chapter, it comes off the heels of our past chapters where the Mighty One Yahweh has impressed that he and only he was and is the only Mighty One of Israel. Now, please understand, the nations can have whatever power or God they want. They can have Jesus as their God. It's okay. That's all right. Krishnas have their God. Buddha is somebody else's God. Allah is somebody else's God. They can have whatever God they want. But Israel only has one power, and the Most High stresses this. I've read it to you. We read it in Scripture in chapter 45, in chapter 44, in chapter 46, 43. We're going to see it again today in chapter number 46. In chapter 46, bitingly and sarcastically, this chapter contrasts the omnipotence of Yahweh, the mighty one, with the helplessness of idols and demigods, along with the foolishness of idolaters in general. This chapter begins by speaking figuratively about Bel and Nebo. Bel and Nebo are Babylonian deities. Now, just because we're dealing with Babylonian deities and we're dealing with time frames of the past, you have to keep in mind that Yeshayahu is a prophet. And prophets speak to the past, they speak to the present, and they speak to the future. So in reading them, the dialogue is going to contain a mixture of information. Doesn't mean that it's not worthy of anything. It just gives us a clear picture of the past and what we can look to in our present. Bel bows down to Nebo. Bows down, Nebo stoops low. Now, I want you to listen to the language because I'm going to explain the language as we move through this. Their idols are born on animals, beasts of burden. The loads you yourselves were carrying are now burdening, tired animals. Okay? We listen to what's being said. We're hearing that the text is describing for us that these idols were carried or tied to the backs of animals. Remember that the Babylonians and these deities that they made were made of wood, and they were heavy. So the text tells us that they're tied to animals. Verse 2 says, they stoop, bow down together. They cannot save the burden, but themselves go into captivity. So now the idols that we're talking about in this particular text that were made of gold and silver were so heavy that the beasts, such as the elephants, were not able to bear up under the heavy loads. Imagine carrying wood overlaid with gold. And you're telling me that a beast of burden like an elephant was having trouble just carrying these idols? They cannot save the burden because the weight of the idols and the idols could not save their people from going into captivity. The text is explaining that idols do not have the ability to save anybody. Make a note. Idols do not have the ability to save anybody. Now, I'm making this point very clear to you because we're going to see further down that the Most High is going to raise some questions. Listen to me, house of Yaakov, all who remain of the house of Israel. I have borne you from birth, carried you since the womb. Till your old age, I will be the same. I will carry you until your hair is white. I have made you. I will bear you. Yes, I will carry and save you. Come on, come on. I want you to hear and get the weight of what's being said. Most High says about you, me. What's he saying? It's clear. We don't have to interpret it. We don't have to break it down. I have done what? I have borne you from birth and carried you since the womb. Until your old age, I am going to be the same. In other words, I'm not changing. I'm going to be the same. The interesting thing that I find about the Most High that's different from us is he doesn't change. His attitude is always the same. He's always going to tell you or let you know exactly what he's feeling and what he's thinking. He says, my attitude's not going to change. Till your old age, I will be the same. I will carry you until your hair is white. I have made you and I will bear you. Yes, I will carry you. Now, verse 4 is a contrast to verses 1 and 2. Because in verses 1 and 2, you're telling me that these idols that were born on the backs of animals, okay, they couldn't carry them. They broke down. They couldn't carry them. Now, if you don't think that Israel is a weight, oh, you all are, no, not you all. We is a weight. We're stubborn, stiff-necked, hard-headed. That's a weight. Have you ever had to deal with hard-headed, stiff-necked people? Huh? Have you? It's a weight. It can drain you. And the Most High says, I have borne you and I'm going to carry you until your hair is white. Yes, I will carry and I will deliver you. Now let's get to it. Let's get to it. Right off the bat. Right off the bat. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You're not going to give me what I want. Okay. The question on the table, right off the bat in verse number 5. To whom will you liken me and equate me? With whom will you compare me as if we are similar? You got it? Where do you think I want to go? Where do you think I want to go? Let's go to Philippians chapter 2. Oh, now you want to give me what I want to give you. I want it now. Here we go. Philippians chapter 2. I want you to hold in mind what we just read. Hold in mind what we just read, right? It says, to whom will you liken me and equate me? With whom will you compare me as if I were similar? Philippians chapter 2. Though he was in the form of God. He did not regard equality with God. That was a good thing. He didn't do that. Something to be possessed by force. On the contrary, he emptied himself in that he took on the form of a slave by becoming like human beings are. Okay? That's Philippians, right? But Isaiah says, to whom will you liken me and equate me? With whom will you compare me as if we are similar? And when he appeared as a human being, he humbled himself still more by becoming obedient even unto death in the stake of a criminal. No, he didn't. He wasn't obedient. There are so many mitzvot that he broke. They're too numerous for me to even express. So, let's go back up here. Though he was in the form of, let's go back to our text. Whom do you like me? Who will you compare me as if we are similar? This is the Most High saying. So obviously, the text here in Philippians, I can't use the word I want to use. It's full of doggy doo-doo. Huh? This is full of doggy doo-doo. This is not true. Because Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, the Most High speaks to the prophet Isaiah. He says, to whom do you compare me as if we were similar? There's no way that a human being can take on the form of the Most High El. Can't do it. Can't do it. There's no way that a human being can even act in the power and the authority of the Most High El. Can't do it. And my question is this: what form? What form are you talking about? What form could he have taken on? What action could he have done? He didn't create anything. Most High is going to tell you over and over again, I created the eternal people. I created the heavens and the earth. So I'm trying to figure out what form and what did he do? By text. Really? Get out of here. Messing with me. Okay. They squandered the gold from their bags and weighed silver on a scale. They hire a goldsmith to make a god, before which they fall down and worship. It is borne on shoulders and carried, then set in its place, and there it stands. From its place it does not move. If one cries to it, it cannot answer, or save anyone from his troubles. I know. You say, Jesus, save me from my troubles. I was a drug addict. I called on Jesus and he saved me. I know. When I was in distress and about to go crazy, I prayed to Jesus and he brought me out. I get it. I know. I've been there. I was there. I know about that. But I come to understand something that's different. And the difference is that what you don't understand is the Most High does not do anything through idols or demigods. And one of the things that you can be grateful for is that the Most High understands the limitations of man. He understands that you and I have functioned in a time frame of ignorance. And that ignorance, he has shown us his grace, his mercy, and his long suffering. When you pray, you've already been instructed that no man can come to the Father except by this guy. So now you're going to tell me that the Father who created all things has a conduit for us to get him. Then you come back and say, we can come boldly before the face of the Most High. Now, can we come boldly, or do we have to go through the conduct? I just want to know, because they contradict each other. Can I come boldly to him, or do I have to come through you to get to him? Which one is it? But in the application of everything that you and I have gone through in life that has brought us salvation and deliverance, it has been at the hand of the one who says, to whom do you compare me? Who am I equal to? The Most High, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, has always been the one who delivers and saves. Nobody else. And the fact that you call on the other guy, if you came to the Father first, Father, and I used to hear this all the time, my Baptist friends, I always used to pray this way: Father God, in the name of Jesus. What do you think the Most High heard? What do you think he heard? He heard Father. Everything else that was said at the Father went straight out in the wind. Because he realizes the ignorance. And the fact that in this exile, he told us that we would worship other gods that we have not known. But we're living in a time frame in which that knowledge is at our fingertips. Wisdom and understanding are before us. We can read, comprehend, ask questions, get information. We don't have to sit idly by and be ignorant. As the Most High refers to us in another chapter in Isaiah, he calls his people stupid. Now, if I called you stupid, you would be upset. Ready to fight. If I called anybody stupid, you'd be ready to fight. Most High, my people are stupid. So, he talks about these idols: gold, silver, make a god. Now, let's go somewhere. In verse number 7, let's go to 1 Samuel 5:1. 1 Samuel. Where are you, 1 Samuel? Come on. I know you're here. Five. one. Let's look at these idols. The Philistines had one. It says that the Philistine had captured the ark of the Most High and brought it from even Elzar to Ashdod. Then the Philistine took the ark of Yahweh, brought it into the temple of Dagon, and set it before Dagon. Now, this is a good story. This is a good issue. This is really good. But early the next morning, when the people of Ashdod got up, there was Dagon fallen down on his face to the ground before the ark of the Most High. That's interesting. Even a wooden idol that can't see, can't feel, can't hear, can't answer, wood overlaid with gold, had enough sense to fall down in the face of the Most High. But let's read on. They took Dagon, set him in his place again. Early the following morning, when they got up, Dagon was again fallen down with his face to the ground before the ark of Yahweh. This time, the head of Dagon and both hands lay there severed on the threshold. All that was left of Dagon was his torso. There is no explanation as to what happened. And a lot of things that we read about in text, we get an explanation of what happened. Well, maybe somebody went in and knocked him over. There's no explanation as to how this idol fell on his face. The point that I'm making in this text is that idols cannot stand in the presence and the face of the Most High El. They can't survive. And this was wood and gold. And the only thing that was there in the presence was the ark of the Most High. The presence of the Most High. So, he says that these idols that you have are borne on shoulders and carried, then set in its place, and there it stands. From its place it does not move. If one cries to it, it cannot answer or save anyone from his troubles. Remember this and stand firm. Keep it in mind, you rebels. So the Most High now is calling all of those of you who are caught up in this idolatry rebels. I didn't say it. Remember things that happened at the beginning, long ago. That what? Here he says it again. That I am Yahweh and there is no other. I am Yahweh and there is none like me. Oh. At the beginning, I announced the end. Proclaim in advance things not yet done. And I say that my plan will hold, and I will do everything I please to do. Now, why is this verse there? That verse is there to allow us to know that the things of the Most High are done by him, so that you and your idols don't have an opportunity to take credit for something that they didn't do. Jesus Christ did not create the heavens and the earth. As a matter of fact, as I said last week, He doesn't even come into existence until AD 325, when Constantine made him the god of the universal religion. And the name Jesus didn't evolve. It evolved from Isus, along with Krishna, where we get Christ. He can't do anything to help you. And you're going to see that. You should have seen it already. We have been in distress. We walk around with a bullseye on our back. It's interesting to me that in the past month or so, or the last few weeks, 11-year-old boy was shot to death in his own home by the police. Police were called to the house on an emergency, and they hollered, "Everybody come out! Everybody come out!" Young boy ran around the corner trying to get out, and they shot him. Black. Where was Jesus then? Another young boy was sitting in his mother's car while she was in taking care of some legal business with her attorney. And the young lad didn't have anywhere to go and relieve himself. So he did the only thing that he knew to do. He relieved himself in his mother's car, and somehow the police got involved, and they arrested the young black boy. Where was Jesus then? Another young lad, black boy, he had to relieve himself. Didn't have anywhere to go. So he did the only thing that was available to him, which happens every day on our streets. He relieved himself. And what happened to him? The young boy got arrested. Where was Jesus then? We can go on and on and on with these stories that happen every day to the Father's people who don't want to be his people. And there's no deliverance. Oh, you can't tell me that these families, I don't know hardly a black family. I don't hardly know any black folks that don't believe in Jesus. I don't know of hardly any black family that don't believe in Jesus. I just don't. I hear it all the day on TV. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. But where is he when it comes time for deliverance? I announce the end, proclaim and advance things not done, and I say that my plan will hold. I will do everything that I please. I call a bird of prey from the east. Who's the bird of prey? It's a metaphor for a vulture. It's also a metaphor and an allegory for the kings of King Cyrus of Persia. Let's listen to the verse. I call Cyrus from the east, watch this, the man I intended from a distant country, I spoke and I will bring it about. I have made a plan and I will fulfill it. Now, he calls Cyrus. Cyrus was responsible for allowing Israel to leave Babylon and go back to Jerusalem and begin the rebuilding of the temple. That was the Most High's plan. The Most High has a further plan for the third temple that's going to be rebuilt. It's written in the book of Ezekiel, with all the dimensions, with all the structure, with everything that he has determined that he is going to do. Let me see if I can get it here. Pull it up on my phone. Ezekiel latter chapters, we're going to start at 35, I think. Let's see here. Nope. It's further down. Nope. 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 It's further down. It closes out, kind of almost closes out the book of Ezekiel. '37 is the valley of dry bones. Let's go down. 38. Let's Gog. It's down here in 40. I bet you it's 40. Just a minute, I'm going to get it. Talks about the rebuilding of the temple. Okay. Starts in chapter number 40. In the 25th year of our exile, at the beginning of the year of the 10th day of the month, this was the 14th year after the city of Jerusalem was struck. It was on that day that the hand of Yahweh was on me. He took me there. In visions, Yahweh brought me into the land of Israel, put me down on a very high mountain. On it, toward the south, it seemed that the city was being built. That is where he took me. There in front of me was a man whose appearance was like bronze. He had a flax cord and a measuring rod in his hand, and he stood in the gateway. The man said to me, "Human being, look with your eyes, hear with your ears, and pay attention to all the things I'm showing you, because the reason you were brought here is so that you could show them so that I could show them to you, tell you everything, and you see the house of Israel." It begins in chapter number 40. From Ezekiel chapter 40 down, he begins to talk about his plan for rebuilding everything that he said he's going to rebuild. Now, listen to 12. Listen to me, you who? Listen to me, who? You stubborn, idolatrous people, listen to me. You're stubborn. You're stubborn. Stiff-necked. I have a plan. I'm going to bring it into fruition. Listen to me, you stubborn people, so far from righteousness. Now, I know that I use the terminology, one man's truth is another man's heresy. And I know that a lot of my past, well, they're my friends. And I want to share something with you all, okay, while I'm here. Friends should always be friends. Your politics and your religious beliefs should not destroy a friendship if they're your friends. You should still be able to talk. You should be able to communicate. And when we talk and we communicate, we don't have to talk about politics, and we don't have to talk about religion. We can just be friends. Families are destroyed over politics and religion. Doesn't make any sense. Think about it. We all believe in a supreme being. We all believe that the ultimate power is the ultimate power. So why are you getting upset with me? Because I recognize the power being ultimate, sufficient, and can't be compared to a man. When he said it over and over again. I will bring my justice near. It is not far away. My salvation will not be delayed. I will place my salvation in Zion, for Israel is my glory. Chapter 47. Now, in chapter 46, the Most High has established his omniscience and the authority and power in who he is. Chapter 47 prophesies the downfall of Babylon. If we go back to chapter number 13 and 21, here in this chapter, he repeats it to underscore the great harm this nation has done to Israel. Who? Babylon. We've heard it talked about Babylon the Great. Let's watch what he's going to do here. It's not going to take us long. Come down and sit in the dust, you virgin daughter of Babel. Sit on the ground and not on a throne, daughter of the Chazdim. No longer are you to be called dainty and delicate. In order to understand this verse and the verses that are going to precede about Babylon, you have to know who they were. You have to know how they functioned. They functioned just like the Christians function. They thought that they were indestructible. They thought that they were it. I mean, they thought that they had it made. They were it. Take the millstones and grind meal. Take off your veil. Strip off your skirt. Uncover your legs. Wade through strings. This is a metaphor and an action that is germane to how they would wade through the women would carry things and wade through the various waters. They says, your private parts will be exposed. Yes, your shame will be seen. I'm going to take vengeance and no one will stand in my way. He's talking about Babel. Now, if the Most High is the same yesterday, today, and forever, we can expect the same kind of action to fall upon everything that thinks it is made something of itself. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to take vengeance on you. Now, he says what? Our Redeemer is who? Our Redeemer, Yahweh Sabaoth, is his name, the set-apart one of Israel. Once again, what's he doing? He's establishing for us who's in control and who the authority and the power is. Sit there speechless in the dark, into darkness, you daughter of the cast name, that's Babylon, for you will no longer be called the mistress of kingdoms. Now remember, if we go back to chapter 14, Babylon describes, and King Nebuchadnezzar described, how great he was, and how he'd fallen, and how he had desired to arise into the Shamayims and be like the Most High. He was kind of strutting his stuff until the Persians and the Medes came in and cut him off. Listen to the Most High. Verse number 6. What does it say? I was what? Angry with. He was angry with us. He uses the past tense here because he's talking into the present tense. I was angry with my people. I desecrated my own possession and gave them over to you, Babylon. But you showed them no mercy. You made your yoke very heavy, even up on the aged. Now let's talk about what happened. History. Coming out of Jerusalem and being taken captive by the Babylons. The Babylonians, along with Esau, treated the people of Israel very harshly. The old people and the infirm who couldn't keep up, they were dealt with very harshly. Under Babylonian captivity, which happens in any kind of captivity, there are things that happen to you very harshly. Look what's happened to us in this exile. The Most High said, I didn't plan it that way. I didn't mean for this to happen to you this way. I didn't mean for you to treat my people this way. But you acted harshly. You got arrogant. You said, I will be mistress forever. So you didn't consider these things or think about the consequences. You didn't think about the consequences of how you were treating my people. You didn't think about it. Now hear this. One of the things that you and I see in this exile is this right here. Lovers of luxuries. Wallowing at ease and saying to yourself, I'm important and no one else. I will never be a widow or know the loss of children. That's what they said. You gotta know that these Babylonians were living good. But they never thought about the consequences of their actions. The Most High said, I did this. I allowed you to do this. But you got cocky. And you thought, oh, I'm important. Now, are we living with people that think they're important? Huh? And nobody else matters but them? We got a guy that's trying to get back in the White House right now who thinks he's important and nobody matters but him. And there are a whole lot of people that join on with him. You said, I will never be widowed or know the loss of children. Well, what happened? Both will come over you in an instant. In a single day, loss of children and widowhood, they will utterly overwhelm you despite your many occult practices and powerful spells to prevent it. What happened? What happened? Well, while the king and all his people were conhorting and having a party in the city of Babylon, the Persians and the Medes came in under a tunnel underneath the city. I told you that the walls of the city were wide enough to roll chariots in a row, 7 in a row around the wall. So you know the wall was thick. The Medes and the Persians found an entrance of water that flowed under the city, and they came in and they captured the Babylons, destroyed their children, and they became widows, and they lost their children in an instant. You were at ease in your wickedness. You thought, no one sees me. Your wisdom and knowledge perverted you. As you thought to yourself, I'm important and no one else is. Can I say something to you all? How dangerous is this? How dangerous is this? How dangerous is it for you and I to get caught up in the thought process of thinking, well, you know what? I'm important and no one else matters. Is that dangerous? When you get this kind of attitude, you are destined for a fall. Yet disaster will befall you. You won't know how to charm it away. Now let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Disaster will overtake you, and you won't know how to pray it away. In other words, you're going to be praying, and no answer is going to come. And you won't be able to turn it aside. Ruin will overcome you suddenly before you know it. So now, keep on with your powerful spells and your many occult practices. From childhood, you have been working at them. Maybe they will do you some good. Maybe you will inspire terror. Now, let's interpret. From childhood, from the time we were children, all we learned about and all we knew about was a guy named Jesus Christ. We prayed to him. We prayed to him in spite of him telling us, don't pray to me. There is no text in the New Testament where Jesus Christ says to pray to him. None. When it was asked, how shall we pray? He said, pray this way. What? Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. This is how you pray. So you keep on with your powerful spells of your cult. Maybe you will inspire terror. You're worn out with all your constellations. So let the astrologers and the stargazers, the monthly horoscope makers, come forward now and save you from the thing that will come upon you. This is what they were doing. So we were taught over there not to get involved in the stars, the horoscope. Babylonians were deeply in that. Didn't save them. Look, they will be like straw. Fire will consume them. They will not save even themselves, and from the power of the flame, it will not be coals of warming ones, not a fire to sit beside. So much for your wizards. So much for I'm going to cast a spell on you. With whom you have worked all your life. We've worked all our life being somewhere we weren't supposed to be. Each will wander off in his own direction, and nobody will save you. 46 and 47. What do we learn? We're learning in these two chapters that idol worship is not going to save you. You can cry out till you lose your voice. You can holler to the top of your voice. I'm almost sure that in the last hours of George Floyd's life, while he was crying out to his mother, he was also crying out to Jesus. I'm almost sure of it. Didn't save him. I'm almost sure when they broke down the doors and came firing into Marina Taylor's house, I'm sure, because the first thing that comes out of her, oh, Jesus! He didn't hear, didn't save her. So much for you wizards, with whom you have worked all your life. Each will wander off in his own direction, and nobody will save you. Well, you say, Rabbi, that's your interpretation. Well, whether it's my interpretation or not, the Most High El has made a point up here to whom would you liken me and equate me? With whom would you compare me as if we were similar? Can we close this by saying in chorus? Join me by saying, nobody. Nobody can be compared to the Most High El. No human being has the form of the Most High El. Nobody can be compared to him or equate to be like him. He stands alone. I hope you've gotten some point of information from these two chapters. These chapters are called the Messianic chapters of Yeshayahu. And I want to say to you, as we go out, the major reason why Israel is in exile, and we're in this exile, the diaspora, is because we don't know the Most High's Torah. This book is called Torah for Hebrews in Exile, will help you to understand the significant importance of walking in the Most High's ways. You can purchase it on Amazon. The oral reading book is in the process of being made, so you'll be able to download that. But this book here, there's nothing like it on the market. It explains the Most High's mitzvot for us in this exile only. Get it. It'll be beneficial to you. Yemerekaka, v'ishmereka, Ya'ar, Yahweh, B'nai V'leka, B'kanuka, Yasa, Yahweh, B'nai V'leka, B'yasham, L'kah Shalom. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you his favor. May Yahweh lift up his face towards you and give you peace. Till next time, Shalom.